Hi, we are.
NoonaTalk,
I'm Zara.
and I'm Sophia.
And what are we reacting to today?
Jisoo's lover.
Yeah, I feel like I should have had something floral with me. I have my Murakami
That
rug.
is
Wait.
true. I
Wait,
have
I have my.
a.
I've brought it. It's here. That's my representation. We are Nuna Talk, a podcast where we talk about K-pop, K-drama, K-culture, K-beauty, everything that you need to know, especially if you're a Desi stan. But even if you're not, we welcome you anyways. And today's episode is actually not an episode, and it's just a reaction. So guess what? We do those too. So subscribe to our channel here on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. But if you are listening to us on any podcasting platforms like Apple, Spotify, Amazon, remember to follow us there as well. You can also follow us on Instagram at Nuna Talk, exactly like it sounds. There is a giveaway going on right now that you can participate in as well.
And Jisoo is the fourth member of BlackPink, the final member to have her solo debut, which has been awaited for years since Jennie had solo happen in 2018, I think. And since then, we've had Rose come out with On the Ground and other stuff, Lisa with La
Lisa
Lisa
with
and
La
Money.
Lisa.
What I really liked about this, what I'm really excited for, is the visual identity of this entire like debut, where the images and the photos are. It's called flower, so it's very flower based. The way they've written flower in Korean is also shaped like a flower. And there's this one scene in the teaser where she like opens her hands like this, and it's like a red like a flower, and it's very cool. Dior advertisement
I
already.
swear, the advertising. Like, पैसा निकालना है ना यूनिवर्सल स्टूडियोज को. How are you paying for
Mm,
that? This is
why
how you
not?
pay
Yeah,
for it.
represents.
ABC. The snapping in the background reminds me so much of the 50s version of West Side Story that they did. Like, it just feels like
Mm,
there'll be some Puerto Ricans on the corner street corner be like,
yeah,
yeah,
and
it's
there's a
really.
xylophone sound of ting, ting,
Oh, is that a xylophone? That's what I was trying to
or it's like
place.
it's not a keyboard, or maybe it's like a fake xylophone sound, digital
Mm.
xylophone.
I think there's a lot of like very strong imagery that's been there throughout. Like she had the flower choker, she had like
Yeah.
like a really heavy floral pattern on the long dress that she was wearing. So there is like
Hmm.
strong flower imagery.
Interesting. Oh, I love. Okay, I'll tell you what this is what
Oh,
it's giving. Okay.
that was so fast.
No,
Okay,
it
I'm ready.
went while it was happening. This was going on in my mind. Where this is like the soundtrack where she's like a rich heiress and like
Mm.
her loved one has betrayed her, and this is the soundtrack of her like murdering after killing him and being like, "You betrayed me." But I don't know, officer, what happened to my husband vibes, and just like
I would agree with that. The only change I would make is instead of lover,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with like father or something, because there's a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
her like tearing, like she breaks off the pearl necklace and then at the end she takes off the choker. So there seems to be like a
Mm-hmm.
sense of ownership. So yeah, it could
Yeah.
be husband, but like
Yeah.
it felt more ownership vibes.
Hmm.
Um,
Good. Yeah.
but let's get into the song. First impression?
I really like this. Like, I kind of like listening to all of the other this thing. I think this is very similar, and a lot of people have said it to Jenny's solo. And I don't think I agree because I think the only similarities is both of them have like very instrumental anti-drop choruses. But apart from that, I didn't find any similarity. But I think this was the most interesting to me musically. Like there were so many like elements that kept going on, and I like that it was very low key. Like it didn't need to have like a blaring ending or whatever. Like it didn't have to be a party song, and I appreciate that. Not that all of them were, but there's always a chance it could be a party song. So I found it very interesting.
Yeah, no, I would say it is a party song, but like a really different party. It's one of those like low-key parties and
Yeah,
you need to have something
like you're
playing in
like
the background.
whining and grinding and like,
Okay, I was gonna go for
okay.
like lo-fi adjacent, but sure.
Ah, okay, okay.
Um, something that really sort of jumped out at me was very interesting that musically, you're right, sonically, it's very interesting.
Hmm.
Especially the chorus, where one of the layers of the background music is not instrumental, it's her voice vocoded. But aside from that, I
Yeah.
think the MV really took me out of the song. And in
Oh,
the
really?
same kind of way that Ditto did, where like the MV was
Hmm.
just so distracting and I couldn't focus on the music. But
Okay.
that's kind of where the similarities end, because like Ditto was a great song and B, the MV was super gripping. Here I was just like,
I think, yeah, I didn't. I mean, honestly, like the MV was fun. What I loved about the MV was the dance and like just how the flower element was incorporated. I think the choreography was really cool from what we saw, and I think it would be nice to see an actual stage performance of this because YGX do have like some of the best choreographers in K-pop,
yeah,
and the
I feel
dancers
like
are really
especially in
skilled. So
the
you
end where
know,
all the dancers come together and they do the like petal
they did
unfurling
the
thing from her
hand
chest.
thing. There was another scene where she's in the center and all the dancers kind of cascade to the side in different like levels.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like a blooming flower, and that's also towards the end. And I think the flower imagery was also very heavy in the lyrics, where they, you were a lilac, you were a white petal, and
A lot
only
of
a
like
scent
getting
of a
crushed
flower remained.
or like blooming. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, so I think it did a very good job of not sonically, but I think visually and lyrically did a very good job of explaining, of like immersing
staying
us
on
into the
brand, on
the
theme.
floral concept. Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
was
the
very
theme was
conceptual,
very well established.
but I think sonically it was something very different
Y-
from the
I
visuals
don't
and
know
the
if I'd
lyrics.
agree for just personally, like overall sonically, because I think it fell a little flat for me. Like I think the chorus really
Hmm.
jumped out because, of course, the vocoding, but everything else sort of was just like a
There was
yeah.
no
It
build
wasn't
up.
unpleasant,
Hmm.
but it at no point intrigued me a lot more. And I don't know. I've watched a lot of like reels and TikToks about this, and I'm sure it's a thing where like I don't know what it's called. I think it's either called lazy girl aesthetic or dead girl aesthetic. It's one of the two.
Hmm. Okay.
And I have watched enough fan cams to know that that is something Jisoo definitely partakes in. And that is
Hmm.
maybe like her thing. It's not something I can enjoy. Like
Okay.
that's something like I knew from the get go, and I thought maybe things would be different. I don't know why
Hmm.
it wasn't. And that again, that's what I mean. Like when I watch the MV, it just feels like if you're not into it, I'm not going to be into it. And I don't think she's not into it. Like
That's
logically,
just the
I'm okay.
vibe. But it's not
Right?
your
Yeah.
vibe. Yeah. This is a very good song to be remixed. Like if you're a good DJ, there are so many ways this song can go. And I think listening to something like Ditto, I mean, that's another similarity where I've listened to a lot of Ditto remixes. And I think when you give that much space into a song, and I think Blackpink do make a lot of songs for the club and for workouts and all of those things. So a lot of people have their songs in their playlist, so their producers know who their audience is. And I think this is a very smart way to kind of put out a track that's it's very inoffensive, right?
It definitely
But I'm
sounds
not
really
sure if this is
interesting.
like playlist for me.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's a definitely not a playlist for me.
Yeah,
But
but if it plays, I'll vibe to it, like
I guess if it plays at somebody else's house and I'm doing something else, like if I'm having a conversation with somebody else and it's playing in the background, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I have to change the song. But I don't think,
that's really far-fetched. Just say it's not for you.
no. I'm trying to explain that, like, you know how things like Pink Venom comes up when I'm like on my autoplay and I never skip it because it's a fun song to vibe to. But it's
Mhm.
also not on my playlist. However,
Yeah,
it's not the same with Flower. Like Flower, if it comes
yeah,
on in my autoplay, I'm definitely skipping. But like if it
yeah.
plays somewhere,
But
I'll be like, hey, Flower. Ah.
But I think it fits your right Jisoo's vibe. Like that's a for me, I felt so, yeah. Like if Pink
Mm.
Venom would not have been her vibe, or like something like Lalisa or Money would not have been her vibe. How did you guys like the song? Let us know in the comments. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you have any other things that you think we should react to or
We'll be
anything
back
else?
with a brand new episode very soon. If there are anything else that you want us to react to, you can always comment down below or send us a DM on Instagram at NoonaTalk. We will see you soon. Bye.